Well, today I am back in Northeast Oregon and I'm at the confluence of the Minam and WALLOWA rivers. I've got the bike set up. I'm about ready to leave the car behind and head about 12 miles upstream along Highway 82 on the WALLOWA River, where I will then set up my pack raft, break the bike down, strap the bike to the raft, and float the river, the 12 odd river miles, right back here for the takeout. It should be a good day. I've got my fly rod, I've got the pack raft, I've got the bike, I've got the cameras, I've got food, and I have my Tudor Pelagos FXD. My name's Chris, and this is my watch channel. Well, the fishing has been brutal and hard today. It's hot. It's almost 100 degrees outside. The river's low. The water is on the warmer side. Fish are holding tight to the bottom. And it's just the way it is this time of year. And in fact, really shouldn't even be fishing when the water is right there at that 70-degree mark. Puts a lot of stress on the fish, and then if they actually do take a fly and you fight them, the mortality rates get really high when you put a fish through that in these kind of conditions. I gave it a shot in a few of the colder, deep runs that were in the shade and stuff, and I wasn't getting anything to really come up other than one little tiny one. I did find this nice shady spot, and it was the perfect spot to just kind of take a little break through the heat of the day here. And figured it'd also be a good spot to talk about this, my Tudor Pelagos FXD. Now on this channel, I look at a lot of homage, quote unquote, copycat watches. Mostly because they're cheap to get and they are a variety for the sake of the videos, right? It's kind of fun to see a different watch in each different video. But like I said in that last video, those watches generally serve to fill an instant gratification. Tudor Pelagos FXD, 42 millimeters in diameter, like right about 13 millimeters thick, 52 millimeters lug to lug, 22 millimeter lug width, sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel, titanium case, 200 meters water resistance, 70 hours of power reserve. I mean, what's there to say that hasn't been said 1,000 times over about this watch? This watch is the tool watch's tool watch. And I was kind of looking at this and thinking, this is a proper homage. Tudor went to their back catalog, those very early Oyster Prince Submariners, especially the mill sub versions. It had the welded spring bars, it had the snowflake dial, the snowflake hands, the shield. Now Tudor even says on their website that this model is a direct lineage of those early mill spec Oyster Prince Submariners. And you can see it. Now instead of a welded spring bar between the lugs, you actually have a machined solid spring bar going across there. Much more secure. You're seeing a purpose-built strap for that setup. Titanium, 42 millimeters. Large, big, bold indices and hands, easy to read in low light. A unidirectional bezel that's loomed as well. This thing is purpose-built for people doing hard work in hard places. And all that being said, it wears really well. I know the proportions sound like it might not, but the slight curvature of the case combined with that 52 millimeter length, this thing, now I have a 7 1/8 inch wrist. Not necessarily big, certainly not tiny, and it wears so well. It doesn't overhang the arm at all. It rides really low and flat to the wrist. And being titanium, you know, the thing weighs nothing and it just disappears on the wrist. The strap that it comes with is a Velcro single pass kind of strap. I think we first saw it kind of debuted on the first iteration of the FXD when they partnered with the French Marine Nationale and came out with that blue version. This is kind of a continuation of that same strap, but now it's green with a red stripe going down the center of it. You read a lot of comments about people not liking the strap, that the Velcro fails, blah, 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 blah. I've had no problems. This is easily my most worn watch of the last year, and I've probably wore it just about every day this summer. Well over a year. Good hard use. Look at that. It's a grabby Velcro. I've had no problems. Holds it down nice and tight. It doesn't fall away. Now, the Thorn I looked at, I bought a cheap Amazon kind of copycat strap to this just to make them kind of look similar. Now that Velcro, after just a few days of wear, did start to already give out and get really weak, and you just kind of brush against something and it would pull off. So there is terrible Velcro, hook and loop, whatever you want to call it. I have had no problems with this whatsoever. So I don't know. Comes with another strap. It also comes with a rubber single pass strap as well. And, you know, being the fixed lugs, your only options are pass-through type straps, whether they're the NATO type or the Zulu single pass type straps. So it can be kind of fun. With the black dial, you can throw all kinds of different colors at it and it can pull it off pretty good. Boat dragon. The one bummer to late summer, river rafting. Flows start dropping and well, it's just over my ankles through here. Big long rock garden. So I get to wet wade it, which is always fun. I might be able to hop back on here. Give it a shot. The going's been slow though because of this. It's been real slow. And it's just that time of year. Still a good time. It's just, it's definitely type 2 fun. You know, it's the kind of thing you're not enjoying in the moment. But when it's done, you're already looking at your calendar, figuring out when you're going to get back out here and do it again. Win for type 2 fun. You go through type 2 fun, and then you have yourself a little rapid like that. And changes your whole outlook. Good splishy, splashy fun. Obviously, the Tudor's surviving. So in my last video, I talked about that satisfaction of the real thing versus cheap copycat. And this is a prime example of satisfaction with the purchase. I've held a lot of watches from China. They're just empty when you wear them. They're just kind of soulless when you wear them. There's no history. You don't write yourself into part of that legacy, part of that heritage with that brand. When I wear this, there's a fine line that you can draw back through all that legacy and that history, back to those UDT frogmen in the late 60s in Vietnam with their Tudor Submariners, going back to the Ministry of Defense and the Mil-Sub Rolexes. There's a product development history, and I really think this is part of that. It's modern, but it's every bit part of that continuing legacy with these two brands. Now, there's been countless talking hand videos covering this watch, you know, since the very first Marine Nationale version came out. It's been dissected up one side and down the other. So I'm not going to add any paradigm shifting insight to what's already been said about this watch, especially from the technical aspect. All I can say is what it's like to wear. And this thing wears surprisingly really nice. It's ultralight, so you don't even feel it on your wrist, even though it is kind of a big, no monkey business, serious watch. It weighs nothing and just disappears on the wrist. And I think that's what makes G-Shock such a great watch as well. And this is very much like a G-Shock. It weighs nothing. It's tough as nails. It's completely brushed titanium finish with the matte black dial and the matte bezel and that OD green strap. Just, you know right away, this watch is built for some serious work. Alright, so one of the other things I always enjoy doing when I come out here and float the river like this, whether it's with the ultralight setup like they have right now or with the bigger raft setups, is to have a little lunch, Streamside if I can help it. And so today we're going to go all out. I've got some potatoes, going to make some gravy. We're going to cook a steak. I came prepared to do a trout, but you know, sometimes, well, that's why they call it fishing. It's not catching. So we're going to have a nice little steak here. Of course, in the Mountain West, this time of year, open flames are prohibited. So only cook stoves that use a liquid fuel. So won't be able to do any kind of open flame setup with either a little barbecue or, you know, just a good old campfire. So gonna do a good little pan-seared steak and some other stuff. Let's do it. This actually is really good. It's the spot. Nice medium. It was hard to cook with what I had, but tastes amazing. Simple syrup. Cheers. A little too much simple syrup. Streamside old fashioned. Pretty darn good. It's missing the ice. You know, it should be cold. But do what you can out here on a bicycle in a crappy little raft. I have food all over my face. Well, here we go. A little Streamside lunch, and well rested, and it's actually even starting to cool down a little bit. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, and yeah, it's starting to get a little bit nicer. I do notice the wind blowing a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. I haven't even been tracking my river miles, so I don't know how far I have to go to the takeout or back to the car. Could be around the corner. I don't think it is. Or I could still have about 6 miles. Hard to say. But I do kind of need to get moving along here so I can get to the takeout and get everything broke down and loaded up. One thing after having a shore lunch like that, I hate it whenever you go backpacking or any camping or anything like that. You have everything packed away very specifically in certain ways. And then when you stop to have a big break like that, you just kind of explode and have a giant yard sale all over the place. And part of the not so fun after that is putting everything back again to get going. Looks like I've done pretty good though. Leave no trace, pack it in, pack it out. I know the Pelagos FXD is not everybody's cup of tea. It's a pretty specific watch, right? But Tudor does offer alternatives under the Pelagos model line. Not only do they have the full-size Pelagos in blue and black dial, they also have the Pelagos 39, which that horn that I tested is a copy of. And now just this year, they came out with a Tudor Pelagos Ultra, which is basically their seat miller at third the price. If you're a person that wants a purpose-built dive watch with just really good looks, with a straight as an arrow family tree going back to some of the best dive watches ever made, then I don't think you can go wrong with the Tudor Pelagos. I really don't. It was somewhere along this stretch of river a handful of years ago. I was with my nephew, my little nephew, on one of his first fly fishing float trips, and I pull over here to the bank to retie a fly for him, and he found a Orvis fly rod and reel in the grass. It had been there a couple years. The cork was all moldy. And of course, the line and everything was just toast. But I cleaned that rod up for him, and new line. Yeah, Orvis sent the parts for the reel, free of charge. I got him a nice case for it. Totally refitted the whole rod. And it's a beautiful rod. And the kid found it sitting on the side of the bank. And it had been there a long time. And this river gets a lot of traffic. So he had eagle eyes that it was just meant to be that day. That rod finding him. It was awesome. the coolest thing is I have the moment he sees it and everything else. I have that on video. I'll probably have that playing right now. Huh? Yeah, just wait. Looks like you found a good one. Moldy. Old Orvis.
Don't look.
So what I'm going to do is just cut the line, because the line would be no good anyway. And you got a pull.
Yeah, awesome.
Your dad can help you clean it up.
That's a good reel, right?
Now if it cleans up, then it will. Not
Really?
It's an Orvis, 9 foot, 5 weight, tip flex. It's all moldy, super duper moldy, but it'll all clean up. A little WD-40, a little scrubbing on the cork. It's been there a long time. Look at that, how all the weeds are stuck to it. It's pretty awesome, Owen. Here, right up there with you.
Awesome.
I bet that reel's a few $100, and then that pole's probably $500-600.
Awesome.
That'll fully clean up. Yep. But
Yeah,
don't help it's just one of those memories you make, you know, when you hit a spot like this, and over the years, and share it with people. And I think that's the cool thing about watches too, right? You take them with you just like you would a person, and you share an experience, right? You share that fall, that scrape against the rock. You share a beautiful late summer evening like this. And then, I mean, face it, not everybody videotapes their little outdoor adventures, right? In fact, I highly discourage it because it detracts from this. It really does. But, so their only memento might be an object they find. It might be a watch on their wrist. Yeah. I think that's enough of my babbling. No matter what watch you wear, go out there, leave the cameras at home, immerse yourself in this, and make some memories with your watch. You won't regret it. See right there, if I would have went over, what a memory. Jesus. Where'd that boulder come from? But yeah, get outside. No matter what watch you're wearing. Get outside and, like I say, give it a story. Beautiful evening. It's going to be a nice float all the way back to the vehicle. And then I have an hour and a half, almost 2-hour drive home. I hope you enjoyed this little vignette of my Pacific Northwest playground and how I like to make use of it. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate the views, appreciate the subs, and until next time, I'll see you soon.
All right. Now. Jesus. It's like a dam of rocks.
Whoa. That wasn't a nightmare or nothing. Ugh. Yeah. What was I saying? What was I saying? I don't even know if I remember.
Pelagos.